All right, Taurus, let's get into your reading. These cards carry an unexpected weight tonight, and the masculine energy radiating off them almost burns. A man stepped into this reading before anything else, and his presence dominates every single card position. He carries a tension deep inside his chest, like a warrior preparing for an unavoidable, brutal confrontation. The intensity pouring through this spread, it tells me this person reached his absolute breaking point recently. Whatever held him back before finally crumbled apart, and he stopped pretending you do not truly matter. This person is about to stand against every obstacle between you, and he wants you knowing his name. He made a decision that shook something permanent loose, and there exists no possible way to undo it now. His name will surface through this reading naturally, and the cards already recognize exactly who stands behind them. The fire motivating his actions feels ancient and earned, because this man waited longer than anyone realized. He held everything together with white knuckles for so long, and now the grip loosened all at once. This person is not asking permission from the world anymore, and the shift in his energy confirms that. The decision lives in his bones now, and it rewired how he approaches every situation involving you. There was a moment when talking himself out of it stopped working, and that single moment changed everything. The first card arriving for us tonight is the Emperor, and it speaks to his protective, commanding nature. The Emperor confirms that this person positioned himself as your defender, and he carries that title willingly. He built an entire strategy around keeping you safe, and nothing about his approach feels random or impulsive. This card reveals a man who mapped his next several moves carefully, and nothing was left to chance. His planning runs deeper than surface declarations, and the Emperor confirms that every step feels deliberate now. The authority radiating from this card, it matches a person who refuses to let outside opinions prevail. The next card coming through is the Knight of Swords, and this amplifies his urgency tremendously tonight. The Knight of Swords reveals a man charging toward confrontation, because retreating became impossible some time ago. This person accepted every consequence of speaking his truth already, and hesitation vanished from his vocabulary entirely. He knows precisely who needs to hear him first, and the rehearsal period ended long before today arrived. The Knight combined with the Emperor creates an unstoppable forward motion, and that motion aims directly at you. A relentlessness flows through this energy that does not stem from anger, it stems from desperate, undeniable devotion. Then we have the Star gracing this particular spread, and it brings breathtaking softness to his fierce intensity. The Star confirms that pure, unfiltered love motivates every aggressive step he takes, and his heart remains uncorrupted. Underneath the armor he carefully built for this battle, a heart beats that only craves your lasting peace. This card reminds us that warriors can also carry tenderness, and this person embodies both qualities without contradiction. His vulnerability sits right beside his strength in this spread, and the Star illuminates that duality with clarity. Nobody fights this hard without something sacred driving them forward, and for him, that sacred thing is you. Our final card tonight is the Three of Wands, and it reveals his broader, ambitious vision ahead. The Three of Wands shows a man gazing across a horizon, planning a future centered around you. He did not start this fight for temporary validation, because his focus remains locked on something lasting. Every card confirmed one deeply powerful truth about this man, and that truth is his absolute, unwavering dedication. The combination spread before me radiates courage and protection, and it equally radiates a very tangible tenderness. This person made his choice long before tonight, and the universe now aligns to support every bold move. His name carries deep significance throughout this reading, and the cards sensed his energy immediately. What began as a quiet rumble inside his chest, it became an undeniable roar, refusing gentle silence. The conviction pulsing through every card position, it belongs to a man who will never back down. He already counted the cost of fighting publicly, and losing you costs infinitely more than everything combined. I feel the energy turning sharply toward you now, and the cards demand your emotions come forward. Something shifted inside your chest very recently, and you carried that weight without telling a single soul. Uncertainty presses against your shoulders like a physical force, and the fog it created refuses to lift cleanly. You crave clarity more desperately than anything tonight, but it keeps slipping through your trembling fingers like water. Part of you already senses what draws near, and that intuition keeps you awake during the quietest hours. Your heart noticed a shift before your mind did, and the disconnect between them created painful inner tension. You kept asking the universe for an obvious sign, and that frustrated waiting slowly evolved into something deeper. A quiet ache settled behind your ribs permanently, and no amount of distraction fully numbs that persistent longing. Your journal entries grew heavier over recent weeks, and the questions you wrote multiplied without any satisfying answers. Every attempt to rationalize your confusion collapsed, because the weight of genuine emotion always overpowers cold logic. You tried convincing yourself that none of it mattered, but your own heart called that bluff almost instantly. You learned to sit with discomfort that most people avoid entirely, and that ability defines your strength. The version of you emerging from this waiting period, she carries a wisdom that never existed before. The first card reflecting your emotional state is the Nine of Swords, and it mirrors your restless mind. The Nine of Swords confirms your thoughts spiral most aggressively at night, when every distraction fades completely. You replay certain moments obsessively in your head, wondering if you imagined warmth that was never real. That doubt makes you profoundly human and deeply caring, not weak or irrational in any way whatsoever. Your anxiety manufactured catastrophic timelines based purely on silence, and those dark timelines drained your emotional reserves. The next card illuminating your energy is the Moon, and it validates your confusion on a spiritual level. The Moon confirms you wandered through thick emotional fog, and nothing around you felt solid or genuinely trustworthy. Your instincts whispered one truth, while logic screamed another, and that exhausting internal war drained your spirit. You question your own perception more than once lately, and the moon says that questioning built necessary resilience. Darkness teaches a strength that comfortable seasons never could, and you earned that strength through every restless night. The fog surrounding your energy was not punishment. It was active preparation for clarity now rapidly approaching you. Your intuition sharpened significantly during this uncertain period, and that refined intuition will serve you remarkably well soon. We also have the Queen of Cups completing your emotional portrait, and this card honors your depth beautifully. The Queen of Cups confirms you feel everything at full volume, and your awareness runs deeper than most. You absorb energy from every single environment you enter, and that gift sometimes becomes a burden never requested. Your capacity for love frightens you occasionally because you understand exactly how much devastation follows full, open vulnerability. You constructed protective barriers, not from coldness at all, but from a wisdom earned through previous painful experiences. The Queen reveals that despite every barrier constructed, your heart stayed remarkably soft and genuinely open underneath. You never truly sealed yourself off from connection, and the cards confirm your readiness to receive stays strong. You stand at the edge of something enormous tonight, and every cell inside your body already senses that. The question forming quietly inside your heart right now, it deserves an answer that matches your incredible depth. Your patience through this long, uncertain season was never wasted, and it was never invisible to the universe. The cards surrounding your energy hold nothing but deep respect, and they confirm your emotional readiness is complete. You are far more prepared than your fear suggests, and that gap narrows with every single breath. Trust the version of yourself that stayed bravely open, despite every painful reason to shut down and retreat. Your emotional landscape shifted permanently during this waiting season, and you will never approach love identically again. A different presence pushes into this reading now, and the cards shift to show what lives inside him. His energy landed like a wave crashing onto the table, and everything about it carries raw emotional weight. This person wrestled with invisible demons for months, and those silent battles changed him permanently from the inside. He carried guilt for words left unspoken too long, and that guilt corroded his confidence in quiet ways. There were nights when he almost reached out, but fear grabbed his hand and pulled it back. Not traditional fear of rejection at all, but fear of being seen as completely unworthy of real love. His pride constructed a fortress that even he struggled to escape, and inside those walls, he suffered alone. This person convinced himself that distance meant protection, when distance actually became his most painful, self-inflicted wound entirely. He spent countless hours replaying old conversations in his head, searching for the exact moment things went wrong. The answers never satisfied him, though, because the truth required a vulnerability he was not ready for. He realized that choosing fear again meant losing the only connection, the one that made his existence meaningful. The first card for his inner world is the King of Wands, and it reveals fierce core nature. He suppressed that fire for months because vulnerability terrified him, and the suppression nearly consumed him from within. This card reveals a man who inspires devotion naturally, even while doubting his own inherent value daily. His charisma masks a deep insecurity, surfacing only in private, when absolutely nobody watches his expression change slowly. This person questioned whether he deserved genuine love repeatedly, and those questions haunted his most vulnerable, quiet hours. He compared himself to impossible standards nobody ever set, and falling short crushed his spirit gradually over time. Beneath the confident exterior, the King of Wands shows a wounded heart beats with desperate hope and longing. The next card exposing his truth is the Lovers, and it captures the depth of his conflict. The Lovers confirms this person stands between fear and commitment finally began winning that internal battle. The Lovers reveals a man who made his choice internally, before his external actions even caught up. His decision grew from months of silent, torturous deliberation, not from impulse or any kind of reactive emotion. Every scenario played through his mind relentlessly, and the only peaceful future involved standing directly beside this connection. This person accepted the full gravity of his choice, and he welcomed every consequence attached to it. The Lovers positioned itself at the center of his spread, and that placement speaks volumes about intention. Then we have Strength appearing in his energy tonight, and it reveals transformation beneath his tough exterior. Strength confirms this person tamed the chaos inside him through sheer willpower and devotion born from love. The ferocity inside his chest stopped roaring destructively, and it redirected toward protecting what matters most. He discovered a gentleness that surprised even himself, and that softness emerged specifically because of deep feelings. Strength reveals that this person grew exhausted from performing invulnerability, and the mask cracked at every fragile edge. His emotional growth accelerated recently in ways nobody comprehends, and the cards document every single shift. Our final card is the Seven of Pentacles, and it reveals his patient, long investment in personal growth. The Seven of Pentacles confirms he planted seeds months ago, and he waits now to see them bloom. His patience was never passive or lazy, though. It was calculated restraint from a man building something irreplaceable. Every quiet day was a brick in a foundation, and that foundation now supports the love he carries. This person knows exactly what he cultivated in silence, and the harvest approaches faster than he ever anticipated. His inner world tonight would overwhelm most people, especially those who only ever witnessed his confident, polished surface. He is not the same man who hesitated before, and the cards confirmed his transformation is completely genuine. His motives carry zero manipulation or hidden agenda, just a man who finally grasps what he nearly lost. The energy shifted into overdrive instantly, and I feel concrete movement building like a massive approaching storm. This person already started taking real steps forward, and something physical is about to change in his world. He moved past the contemplation stage entirely, and his actions carry a momentum that simply refuses to stop. Conversations avoided for months suddenly feel urgent, and he picks up the phone without second-guessing his words. People around him will notice a sudden shift, and several will push back against his bold choices. He anticipated that resistance already, and he prepared a response that leaves absolutely no room for gentle negotiation. This person plans to address the situation directly, and the confrontation timeline is much shorter than anyone expected. Days, not weeks, is what the cards reveal. And that urgency runs through every card on this table. He cleared space in his life deliberately for this, and old distractions got removed without a single hesitation. Priorities rearranged in ways that confuse the people closest, but he owes no explanations for his decisions. His schedule shifted to accommodate what matters most, and the restructuring happened quietly, without dramatic announcements. The Chariot arrived as his first action card, and it carries absolute, unstoppable forward momentum right here. The Chariot confirms this person seized full control of his direction, and he steers with precise, terrifying focus. He is no longer dragged by circumstance or fear, and the Chariot shows him driving his own path. Obstacles that paralyzed him once now look small, and he navigates around every single one of them effortlessly. The Chariot also confirms he is willing to close physical distance, making his intentions known face to face. Logistics will not deter him, because the determination fueling his movement overpowers every practical excuse he once had. His approach is structured and deliberate tonight, not chaotic or scattered like previous half attempts that fizzled fast. This time feels fundamentally different in the cards, and the Chariot confirms that difference comes from real transformation. The Ace of Swords propels him forward, and it brings cutting clarity to every single decision he makes. This card confirms he found the exact words needed, and they sit prepared and ready on his tongue. He will communicate with precision that surprises everyone, because the confusion that once clouded him evaporated completely. The Ace reveals a breakthrough already occurred internally, and his external world now rushes to catch up. His communication will land direct and unapologetic, but delivered with enough care that the impact hits exactly right. No coded messages or games this time around, just truth racked in courage he gathered over painful months. The Ten of Wands completes this section powerfully, and it reveals the burden he willingly carries forward. The Ten of Wands confirms he recognizes the enormous weight, and he still moves forward without flinching once. He chose to carry that weight regardless, because dropping it means walking away from everything he wants. The Ten shows a man burdened but unwilling to quit, and that stubborn drive fuels his every step. He gathers loose ends from his past tightly, and every unresolved matter gets addressed before his move. This person wants to arrive with nothing dragging behind him, and that careful cleanup began happening very quietly. The action building here carries a timeline that feels imminent, and the cards confirm movement arriving within days. He crossed the invisible boundary between wanting and doing, and once that line shatters, there is no return. Every card pointed toward a man in full motion, and nothing on this entire table slows him down. The physical world reflects what his heart decided months ago, and that visible reflection arrives very soon now. His actions will speak louder than any explanation could, and the people watching will finally understand him. The speed of his approach mirrors the intensity of his love, and both accelerate with each hour. He already made arrangements that would surprise most people, and those arrangements demonstrate his total, serious commitment. Nothing about his momentum feels performative or forced. and the authenticity behind every step makes it clear. The cards confirm that timing works heavily in his favor, and the universe cleared a direct path ahead. The cards just dropped into a deeper layer, and something hidden beneath his bravest exterior finally surfaces now. What he shows the world is only a fraction, and confessions buried inside him would break most apart. This person never told a soul what he truly feels, and that silence reshapes him every single day. He rehearsed words in the mirror more times than he would ever admit, and none felt adequate enough. The confession sitting on his tongue terrifies him more than any battle because it requires complete, naked vulnerability. He wants to say 3 words so badly, and his chest physically aches every time he tries. If your body reacted while hearing that, if your skin tingled or your breath caught briefly just now, that physical response is confirmation from the universe, and the cards want you trusting what your body knows. You are not imagining this connection, and you are not creating fantasies from scattered breadcrumbs or empty signals. What you feel is mirrored exactly on his side, and the cards validated that with absolute, unshakable certainty. The energy between hearts that recognize each other, it cannot be manufactured or faked or willed into existence. What lives between the two of you, it passed every test the universe quietly placed in its path. The Hierophant exposes his hidden truth first, and it reveals a sacred commitment forming quietly inside him. The Hierophant confirms he sees the connection as something holy, not casual or temporary or replaceable. He privately views the bond with a reverence that embarrasses him, because vulnerability of that magnitude feels terrifying. The Hierophant reveals he made a private vow, and nobody in his life knows about that promise. He committed to a future before speaking it out loud, and the commitment lives quietly inside his choices. This card confirms that his devotion operates on a spiritual level, not just emotional or romantic surface attraction. The depth of what he hides goes beyond a simple crush, and the cards expose that depth tonight. He imagines mornings beside this connection consistently, and those visions feel more real than his actual days. The Two of Cups reveals his desire next, and it confirms he craves a deep, genuine, true union. The Two of Cups says he wants equal partnership, not ownership or control over another vulnerable heart. He dreams of standing beside a person who sees through his armor, and that dream keeps him awake. The vulnerability required for that union, it is exactly what he spent months building courage to offer. His hidden desire is not just to be loved back, but to be truly, fully, and completely understood. The Two of Cups confirms understanding is what he craves most, and he believes this connection provides it. There are nights when emotion overflows so completely that he sits alone in silence, unable to speak. The emotional flood catches him off guard sometimes, and he grips whatever is closest to steady himself. The tears he never shows anyone, they come from a depth of feeling he spent years hiding. He carries a protector instinct that borders on fierce obsession, but it stems from genuine care, not control. This person would stand between danger and this connection without thinking, and nobody ever taught him that. The Page of Cups completes his confessions, and it reveals a remarkable innocence living beneath his tough strength. The page confirms a childlike purity exists inside his feelings, untouched by cynicism life tried to teach. He still believes in love the way children do, and that belief survived every wound he endured. That innocence is exactly what makes his confession so powerful, because it comes from an unguarded, sincere place. The page reveals he wrote letters never sent, and those pages hold the rawest truths ever expressed. His confession goes beyond wanting this connection, because the truth is, he needs it to breathe properly. Without it, he functions but does not live, and that distinction haunts every quiet moment of his existence. The hidden layer holds more emotional weight than everything before it, and the cards recognize that fully. His deepest, unspoken truth is simple but devastating, and it echoes through every card in this section. We reached the final stretch of this reading, and the cards carry a weight demanding your full attention. Everything built across the previous sections now converges here, and the near future reveals itself with remarkable clarity. The sun appears as the first future card, and it brings pure, undeniable, radiant joy straight ahead. The sun confirms that warmth floods into your life very soon, and the cold, uncertain period officially ends. This card promises visibility and truth replacing shadows, and what was hidden finally comes forward openly. His arrival in your awareness, it will feel exactly like stepping into warm, golden morning light. Happiness is not just possible in the near future, it is practically guaranteed by this card. The relief washing over you soon will bring tears, and those tears carry decades of released tension. The Six of Wands follows as the second future card, and it signals a shared victory ahead. The Six of Wands confirms the battle he fought for you. It ends in triumph and recognition. This victory is not quiet or hidden at all, and the world around you acknowledges what happened. People who doubted the connection will witness it standing strong, and their silence will speak louder than words. The Six of Wands also confirms that pride replaces every doubt, and confidence replaces every anxious, sleepless night. He arrives carrying the energy of a man who won something precious, and that treasure is trust. The advice card stepping forward is the World, and it brings the most complete, reassuring energy possible. The World advises you to receive what comes without resistance, because patience and faith already earned it. Stop questioning whether you deserve love approaching, because the World confirms you deserve every single bit. Release the old stories saying love always ends in pain, because this chapter writes itself completely differently. The World asks you to embrace completion openly and let the exhausting cycle of waiting finally close. Trust the timing the universe orchestrated behind the scenes, because every delay served a specific divine purpose. Let me bring the message back around now, because this reading confirmed one powerful central truth for you. This person is about to fight everyone between you, and his name is written clearly across these cards. He chose you deliberately and permanently, and every card from first to last echoed that single message. The star revealed pure intentions, and the Three of Wands showed his ambitious vision stretching into forever. The Nine of Swords mirrored restless, worried thoughts, and the Moon validated the fog you walked through. The Queen of Cups honored your emotional depth, and the King of Wands confirmed his fiery, passionate core. The Lovers exposed his crossroads moment, and Strength confirmed the transformation that prepared him for this exact destiny. The Seven of Pentacles showed patient investment, and the Chariot drove his unstoppable forward movement toward you. The Ace of Swords gave him clarity, and the Ten of Wands showed the burden he willingly carries. The Hierophant revealed his sacred, private commitment, and the Two of Cups confirmed his desire for genuine union. The Page of Cups exposed his innocent heart, and the Sun promised radiant joy flooding your near future. The Six of Wands guaranteed shared victory, and the World advised you to receive this love completely openly. Every single card pointed in one direction tonight, and that direction leads straight to you without any detours. This reading was never random or accidental, and the energy found you precisely because you needed it tonight. The love approaching carries a permanence you can feel, and this time, nothing interrupts its powerful arrival. Visualize yourself at peace very soon, standing beside the man who fought the entire world for you. That version of your life is not fantasy, and the cards confirmed its reality tonight with absolute clarity.